Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call Holo Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, Shem Rakah. Once again, double honor squad to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, who deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akima around the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity. Alright, trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect. This is Naaman with the DC Camp Slot. And for those of you that were not aware, this happened in Memphis, Tennessee. Alright, you had 3 initially state representatives on the chopping block. Alright, 2 Jakes and what appears to be an Edomite. And guess what? The 2 Jakes got expelled. The Edomite survived by just 1 vote. Alright, now they say it was because of violation of, house decorum, their rules and things of that nature. But, this is Satan. But I was watching a particular news channel, and they were interviewing a state representative, colleagues of these 2 Jakes that were expelled, and he was like, the guy asked him, said, well, at the very last, could this have been racism? And the Edomite who he was interviewing, who's, like I said, a colleague of these 2 right here, was like, after all is said and done, he couldn't see no other reason for what happened, because the interviewer was trying to say, well, they used a bullhorn, on the House floor, and that was, well, and the colleague, the state senator, said, well, they really left them no other choice because they kept cutting off their mics. See? This is who you're dealing with. And when they had no other choice in order to be heard. Now, too, you have to understand what's going on here. The other thing to consider is the huge white elephant in the room that everybody is trying their best to ignore, and that's this LGBTQ, because this is in reference to the shooting that happened in Nashville, at the Covenant School. And the person that did it had issues, and they are trying their damnedest not to bring that to the forefront, because again, going back to the agenda, and they're just trying to play it safe here, and still. Now, you have to ask yourself also, is what's going on with Donald Trump have anything to do with this? Because let's just face it, these, and this is in Tennessee here is, of course, a Republican-dominated legislature. So, I think something like 69-21 or something like that. But anyway, so, and it's split down, of course, party lines to vote to get rid of it. So, of course, they can still run and win again on the special elections. The good thing, if they win, they cannot be expelled according to their law, they cannot be expelled for the same offense twice. But in any case, let's go ahead and listen to this video. Again, this is the piece of shit you're dealing with. He makes his rules. He enforces his rules as he sees fit. So there's really, for all of you that are looking to still try to coexist with this devil, it's never going to work. Alright, hey, you might as well get the scriptures now to start off. It's never going to work. Because he's going to change things up as he sees fit. And he has done that. That's the reason we know these things. Alright. Let's go to Psalms real quick. Psalms 94. Alright. 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? And that's the question. Alright. No. That's why, really, when you look at it, it's pointless to even try to go and, as our people do, they think they can change things from the inside out. How long have we been here? Has that worked? No. And it never will. no matter where you go in this wicked piece of shit, this so-called white man, this Edomite, wherever you go in his kingdom throughout the earth, because remember, they rule the earth. Alright, Job 9:24. Alright, they rule. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day where you're at. This whole this whole thing needs to be pulled down. What I mean by thing, this whole system, this beast system. Alright, and how do you do that? You have to take, as it says in the scriptures about binding the strong man, like they did us. Alright, that's what's going to happen. Alright, remember when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's going to take rulership. He's going to wear all the crowns. Alright? That's what needs to happen. You can't look for any justice from an unjust person, or people, for that matter. For that, stay in Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 43 and 1. I like to bring this one out. It says prayer for deliverance, which we certainly need. Alright, it says, judge me, O Most High Yahweh, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. Now all these jakes did at the end of the day was try to bring attention to the fact that, well, why do you need, and we know the answer, all these assault weapons? And of course we know the game ultimately that's being played is they want to get these kind of weapons out of the ordinary citizens' hands anyway, because that makes it easier when they make their move. Alright, and this was just an overreaction on these Edomites' part. But you gotta understand, Jake also brings out that hatred. When it comes, oh, you talking about my guns? Nigger, have you lost your mind? You see a lot of that. Alright, so here, let's go ahead and roll this video. See, this is where, when we bring out scriptures like, the Egyptian versus the Egyptian, Isaiah 19th chapter, this is a lot of tit for tat. And it's going to culminate, alright, in a civil war. Alright, Isaiah 13th chapter. Alright, this is what this is headed towards. Who's gonna be at the greatest disadvantage of that? Well, that comes to play in what we call Jacob, well, not what we call, but the scriptures call Jacob's trouble. Alright, which has already started. Again, it should be common sense. Alright, Jake is in the lowest of lower states when you take into account the country that you're in that boasts, alright, that it's the greatest, alright, and yet people come over here, what do they see? Jake, mainly. I mean, hey, these Edomites are catching up, but for years all you saw on the streets was what? A bunch of Jakes. Alright, strung out on dope and anything else, which could have been solved long ago, but this is again, alright, is a reflection of the hatred these devils have toward us. Now they want to talk about, and of course this can only be as a result because so many of them are feeling the effects of the curses which are being transferred to them. Meaning a lot of them are losing their jobs. A lot of them are strung out now. I'm talking about the so-called white man. Alright. That they're being forced to do things. All right, now they're talking about building these little tiny homes. Why didn't you do this years and years ago? Like I said, it was so easy. But it's the system, this wicked ass system that's been propped up. They want you to go in debt because that's how they control you. See, now they don't have to worry about that so much now because this whole thing is getting ready to be flipped upside, you know. What you knew, all right, is getting ready to be done away with. Because what is going toward total control? That's what this whole thing is headed towards. Tightening that noose, however you want to put it. All right, that clamping down. I'm talking about the elites. There's no conspiracy. If you're still thinking what we're saying at this point is conspiracy theory, I mean, you're just fucked. All right, but what did I say I was going to go? Oh, let's go to, let's get another one. We use quite regularly, and it's to the point. All right, Assyria is the Most High's instrument, just as America is. You got to understand, all of Israel's captivities are synonymous with each other, and that they were all set up to punish us for turning our back on the Most High. All right, in that regard. So let's go to Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Let's go into that real quick. Unrighteous decrees. First, let's get what the decree is. And that's Strong's H2711. All right? Quack. All right? Quack. All right? Anyway, decree, resolve, statute. That's why I read Psalms 94, 21st. All right? Statute, action, prescribed. All right? Going down here, Strong's definitions, an enactment, a resolution, a thought. All right? And that goes again towards what? What does that sound like? When we go into the New Testament, let's go there real quick. And we go to let's see. 2:11, and it said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And when we go into devices, all right, we see another common word here. You know it's a different, of course it's in the Greek. Naima, a mental perception or thought, an evil purpose. All right, that which thinks the mind, thoughts, and purposes. La'ab in Hebrew. All right. So this, or device, all right, this is how you know who you're dealing with. We've been saying this as we've been trying to tell you. If you're still in this late stage of the game, like I said just moments ago, think everything is conspiracy theory, and what we're saying is a lie because you can't see it. We're trying to understand, although we do know the scriptures and we know that a lot of, and I'm talking about our people, the surprising thing that a lot of everyone else sees us except our people. And that's how you know, hey, doesn't look too good. Indeed, Jacob's trouble. Because a lot of the things with our people is called willful ignorance. You know, we're out there on the highways and byways for you, all right? But again, as King David said, you know, Isaiah 6 chapter, and there's other scriptures in Romans, you know, about our people being blinded. In Isaiah 29th chapter, you know, and it's for a reason. These are these spirits that for ages past doing the same old damn thing. They've been demons. All right? And they were just never meant to get it. All right, let's continue a little bit more of this. 2 weeks. Which brings up another point. Maybe I should have said this earlier, but aren't institutions like this supposed to be the people's house? Letting you know, again, something that we told you, alright? The ordinary Joe is considered the enemy. Alright, this has all been an illusion, especially since FDR, alright? Where they did tricks with the currency then, alright? You were made, as the ordinary citizen, an enemy of the state. A lot of people don't even know that, alright? War Powers Act and all that. Hey, read it. Oh boy. A lot of people in for a surprise. Then you have a few that are trying to make plans as they see fit, but this is something, and you're going to understand, or that you should in this time when it comes, about Revelation 13 and 16. Alright? And how that's going to come to pass, because a lot of people just fan their hands off. That Bible, how they go. Well, think of it like this. When the dollar no longer is the world currency, the petrodollar, man, you're going to have inflation on a whole new level here in America. And it's nothing that you can really defend, because what you think you're saving up, it's not going to help you. There's many scriptures in this. Hey, again, the scriptures has it all in there. Even if you were fortunate enough, at least in a lot of people's mind, you were fortunate enough to be able to buy and store silver and gold, actual material, precious metal, it's still not going to help you, because the system is going digital. There's a video that was in circulation, at least amongst our camp, about this individual who appeared to be Northern Kingdom, older gentleman, trying to buy a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. Coffee was about $7, I imagine, if memory serves. And he had motherfucking money out the ass. I mean, hundreds. He just spread it out like he do a deck of cards. And it was Jake behind it, Southern Kingdom appeared to be behind the counter, and he says, "Sir, I can't take your cash because, it's digital. It's card." And the guy, understandably, was pissed. But this is what's going to happen on a worldwide scale. And you might be amazed at the number of people that still had, and it's usually Jake, that still hadn't realized this. Again, Jacob's trouble. All right, let's see what else he got. Did you not hear me just say earlier what they did? They were trying to make their point with their allotted time, and these devils cut off their mics. You know, that's cool and all, but my point of making this video ultimately is to show you cannot win. You playing by their rules, their laws. And that's why we put the emphasis on getting the fuck up out of here. You're not going to win. That's why I read Psalms 43 and 1. Alright, this is an unjust and deceitful people. They are the wicked. They are indeed the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Alright, so yeah, a few comments here. It says, well, this is 3 hours ago, the GOP in Tennessee is just proving that racism is alive and well in the South. Straight to the point. Remember what I said about the elephant, you know, the big ass white elephant in the room? This is Athena Parish. We need trans control, not gun control. The Colorado shooter identified as non-binary. The Denver shooter identified as trans. The Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. The Nashville shooter, which we're discussing here, alright, or should have been, I'll put it that way, identified as trans. See? So far, only one person. See, go with that black and shit again. Whitey is always is deeper than that. Someone trying to be a smartass. Sounds like an insurrection to me. Someone else said they broke the rules, and I've said not understanding the whole thing in its totality. Sarah, another good point, they did more to throw him out, or them, than they did to protect our kids. That man is a hero. We need more like him. We need action. Let's see what the replies did. If he cared, he would have stayed civil to get work. See what I mean about setting your rules and see? He can't win. He doesn't understand, or have evidently didn't hurt, or doesn't even care. Another reason why. Fuck him. Of Susan Wall makes another good point. Of course they kicked him out. They're in the gun lobby's pocket. Another thing that I didn't address. All right, but there it goes. And it did have a certain air about it. I'm going to read this one. This is, I'm going to let it go after this. It says, this is from Sky Jens, I guess that's how you pronounce it. That hearing was extremely cringy. The Republican Tennessee representatives all sound like hardened slave masters from the 1800s. It was borderline traumatic being the viewer watching their hatred towards the two men. See? can't get around it. This place got to go. All right, the quicker the better. So with that, and what that goes into being in that state of mind that, you know, as Isaiah 51 and 14 about the, let me get it real quick, I don't want to butcher it. About hastening to be, let's see. Here we go. The captive exile which we are, hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit. This whole system, another word for that is pit. Nor that his bread shall fail. All right, because this is something that's engineered by our oppressor. All right, you were never meant, all right, to have it good here. This is not our rest. And if you get that little book, I don't have it on hand, it's called How White Folks Got So Rich. It will explain to you the measures that they took to ensure that we never could achieve generational wealth here. All right, they made damn sure, because I think a lot of people, when they are taught American history as it pertains to us, they just thought, they were always told that, well, the reason they're not successful is they were lazy. No, we didn't just sit on our hands as a people, and right after we were so-called free, we had built our own towns and settlements, just in a matter of 2 generations or so, had our own shit. But what happened? Jim Crow. You had after all the promises were broken, the setups, you know, what president was it? Was it Rutherford B. Hayes? He more or less pulled protection away from us, and with the Klan starting up, and I think it was Hayes. Ulysses Grant wasn't a friend of ours either. But yeah, so then you had all this lynchings. In other words, no president has ever been a friend of ours. This whole thing, again, you know, this devil was set up to be the Most High's whipping stick toward us. He's done an excellent job of it. But our people have what I call that colonial mentality. They don't know anything else. And from generation to generation, it's that trauma. We were never, and again, this is the Most High ultimately doing this, we were never allowed to heal. You have to understand that. And yet, we as a people, we try to fight for everybody else that comes over here, you know, and they end up getting more rights than we do. And that's done on purpose. Hey, so with that, I hope whoever views this is as edified as usual. That's what we do here, filter everything through the scriptures. So with that, hey, shalom.